The search for Quest Pro grips has led us down a road, and I've been using these AMVR ones I showed off to you before. They're nice because they're index style, but a couple issues with them, they're not meant for these, so they don't actually really hold the controller. They do an okay job. Just kind of impressive that it even still works. But I guess when it comes to Quest Pro, if you want decent grips that are reliably charging, the AMVRs are the way to go. But if you were really flinging it, they could fly out. I add a little double stick tape to mine. Another company has come out with a set that's silicone like I wanted, but where the old silicone ones I showed you, it slid over or it got in the way of the charging. I don't know, I feel like the AMVR ones they were a little easier to land in the hole for some reason, so I feel like I'm only landing one of these. They have cut all that out on these, so I'm really hoping these are gonna be my permanent grips. Let's find out. $17 on Amazon, but there's a 5% off coupon right now. Oh, it comes with little tippies for your grippies. I don't think we'll need those. So you'll see right here the difference in shape. Have this big old like moon crescent cutout that's gonna hopefully keep this from interacting with your buttons like we had an issue with. I don't know about the grip button issue though. I'm still concerned about that. But let me install the set. See how hard these are to get off now that I stuck double stick tape inside of there. Oh boy. Well, I was never gonna have to worry about these coming off again. And then of course I got a new set of grips just in time for that. Scotch 3M double stick tape for the win. For now, I'm just gonna install one because I kind of want to compare it to my AMVR ones here. Should be a basic install. It's just gonna slip in here. It will slip over. It looks like the Oculus button and the analog stick, and actually all three cameras have holes, which are a little concerning for me. Still kind of that same crappy hand strap. It's like a pleathery, it's got kind of sharp edges, but it's okay. They wear in a little better than they start out. Boy, even at just first feel, way better than those last silicone. What's happening is the pressure of that is already pulling the silicone over to where it's gonna potentially interact with your buttons, potentially start to block the camera, and maybe even get in the way of your joystick. I feel like if you were gonna use these, you'd have to leave them. Even at pretty loose, they just immediately, the problem is it's all silicone, so any pull here pulls it right over. Even if you're pulling it over to the side a lot when you play, you're squeezing a lot, you're not really getting in the way of anything. It's not blocking my analog stick. It can't block the buttons because it doesn't cover them anymore. And it's making the Oculus button a little less accessible, but not much. Doesn't seem to be interacting with my grip button in that way. What if I squeeze it? Boy, squeezing it is not pulling it down the controller like I thought it would. So far, so good. The AMVR grips do feel a little better, but they're not meant for it. I'm used to this hand strap. I like the way that feels. But at the low price point of these, I definitely feel decent about this. All right, I'm gonna leave one on each actually, because I wanna do them side by side. I'm gonna jump away, do some testing real quick here, and come back at you with some final thoughts. Did some very sweaty testing, these against the AMVR ones I've been enjoying, and I've got to say, I'm swapping to these. They're not the perfect grips yet, but I am really happy with how they felt. Got real sweaty, hands were sweating. These didn't slip around all with the silicone because there's also some texture on the outside here. I like that about them. The way they felt on my hand was fine. I got used to that quickly. But what I found was no matter what I was doing or how I was playing, the grip really didn't slip to where it was covering my cameras. The Oculus button felt a little different because it's so recessed now, but if I needed to reset my play space, I could still reach in there and hold it in just fine, reset everything. That's perfect. Do a quick dock check here once I swap the other ones out, but it looks like it's very clearly gonna fit the dock, but we like to be thorough. So now they don't have silicone in the way, so you should be able to just grab these. Got one charging. Oh, and the other one was already fully charged. We got that green light you can see in there. A little harder to see your lights just because the silicone could cover them depending on what angle you're at. But yeah, these are gonna charge fine like this. They cover the controllers. They feel good in hand. I like silicone grips. I've always preferred the feeling of silicone in my hands versus plastic. There are very few people out there that have some allergies to silicone, so keep that in mind. Most people usually know that because it is a very rare allergy, but it is possible. So I'll leave a link in the description to these, although I did like the AMVRs, so I'll leave a link to those in case you're more interested in those too. I'll leave a link to the old video where I fully reviewed them if you want to learn a little bit more. But these are going to be my go-to grips from now on until something better comes out. But for now, these are pretty much doing everything I want, so I'm happy with them. But what do you think in the comments? I'd love to hear down below. Have you been looking for grips? Now that the Quest Pro dropped to 1,000, are you getting one? Or are you getting Quest Pro controllers just for your Quest 2 and you want grips for them? Looks like we've got some options now. But thank you for coming out, and I will see you in another reality.